Now in its 10th year, this is Gabnet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. Live from Harlem in New York City, it's me, I'm Alex, and this is the Ramble.
Ladies and gentlemen, there she is, Lori Thompson. We go down to Florida, and Lori Thompson, who you can tell it's another week because you have a different blouse on today?
I have a different shirt. Yes.
Different shirt. Okay.
I'm fond of the green blue family. All you have to do, if you want to know what your colors are, you don't have to have them done.
Yeah.
Just look at shirts you really like when they're in the washer. You go.
But the truth is, we do this, two of these at the same time.
We do.
And
yes.
you go out, much to your femininity, and are compelled to change your top or something to make it look like not like it was last week.
Sometimes I put
However,
on a
nobody remembers what you were wearing last week.
I know. Sometimes, though, if you're streaming, you'll go, oh, you just like to respect the folks, respect the audience, and by giving them a variety of colors. Everybody's got a favorite.
Something I got used to, when I first started doing a lot of TV, I would go out to do something. A lot. And more than I ever believed I did. But, because I was a radio guy, and I didn't think I was a TV guy. But the fact was, I did a lot of TV,
A bunch. Yeah.
I was on Comedy Tonight for 5 years. And
that was nationally syndicated, wasn't it?
And then I did a thing over Channel 7, which was Log On TV. That's what I won the Emmy for.
Uh-huh.
I won another Emmy for doing the Bay to Breakers wrap-up show.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, I have 2 Emmys, and so I did do a lot of TV. Let me turn up the air conditioner here. It's hot today. Anyway.
And how many people do you know that have 2 Emmys? None. Most people know nobody.
Yeah, I know some people have 1 Emmy, but I have 2 Emmys. But anyway.
That's right. Those.
And I'm Emmy-winning podcaster Alex Bennett. Anyway,
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
The Emmy is kind of status, but then when you say podcaster, it just completely negates the Emmy. So,
well, there are some great podcasts out there. I'm including this one, but
this isn't one of them. Believe me.
No, but or others where people just think all you got to do is get a microphone and bring your best friend over and talk about Fritos.
Everybody's got a podcast.
They do. They're like navels. Mm-hmm.
But what I was thinking of doing, they do these mystery podcasts,
Oh, like Serial?
Oh, yeah. And there's this murder, and this happened in I don't know, someplace or whatever, and we're trying to figure out who the murderer was, and they carry it along for I don't know how many weeks. Well, I thought of just completely creating a fictitious murder case. Yeah.
That would work.
Completely fictitious, but just bloody and scary and
salacious.
Salacious, yeah, all of that. But I'm at my age where I don't have the energy to do that, so I probably will never get around to it.
But it would be fun.
Yeah. Because I now get to a point where I'm saying something and I forget, the name of somebody or the places or things and whatever, and I now call that my Biden moment.
Oh man, I was so sad during that debate. I mean, just because it seemed, I think Biden doesn't have a very strong, if any, attack gene, and Trump has like the super.
All of his genes are attack genes.
Yes.
And the other genes he uses less, but he uses them all the time, are the denial genes.
Yeah. That's come to his. He's a favorite.
I never had sex with any porn star. What? Then what did you pay $130,000 for to keep her mouth shut?
And she hasn't, which is
By
great,
the way, the
'cause
only porn star was ever paid to keep her mouth shut. So it's,
Yeah.
you know.
But Stormy Daniels is fun on interview shows.
Yeah.
She's got a sense of humor about herself, about that incident. I mean, and I think if he had to do that with any porn star, I think Stormy was a good choice.
Yeah.
She's entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I would not want to have sex with her. She's just not my type.
Not my type either. Not mine. Yeah. But yeah, I like her on talk shows.
Yeah, she's fun. You know,
she can rip.
She is fun.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so what was I saying?
We were talking about Donald Trump and the Biden in the debate.
Oh, the Biden and the debate. It's long gone by the time we do this. In fact, by the time we do this, who knows whether Biden is even running for president again?
I know. You know who would be a good candidate in his place? Michelle Obama.
I mean, we're doing this on July 3rd, so this will be a week from July 3rd that this will be on. A lot can change in a week.
A lot. Because when you think about Michelle Obama, whose name is, floating around, and you think about, you get a 2-for-1. Basically, it's a BOGO. You get Barack Obama in the White House again, and Michelle Obama, and their marriage seems constructed to make basically
I don't think she wants to be president. I don't think that's not in her. It's not in her genes. It's not in her DNA. It's just not what she wants to do with her life.
I'm thinking she would be a good choice though, as far as vote getting. Yeah.
My choice, the guy. I'm thinking who can win.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Who can win? Who can jump in at a moment's notice, take this thing over, and then move on and win? And while he's at it along the way in debates, make mincemeat out of Donald Trump. And that would be Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom will be president, probably in our lifetime.
Yeah.
He's got charisma. He's a good-looking guy. He's quite Kennedy-esque. And he's already been governor of California and mayor of San Francisco. He knows how to deal with people and politics, and plus he presents so well.
Yeah, I mean, he has some problems, but they're not akin to cheating on your wife with a porn star.
Right.
He cheated on his wife with somebody he worked with when he was mayor of San Francisco. And that didn't end well for his marriage. Okay,
they seldom do.
It was, I think, his best friend's wife or something that he was having sex with.
Ouch! Because see, that's a. I would.
Rumors that he and Kamala.
Really?
She was the district attorney when he was mayor.
It makes complete sense because, see, I would run into before he was mayor, I would run into him socially quite a bit. And I did some events for Jackie Spear, who was a representative. At the time, she was coming up.
Right.
She wasn't representing California. But and so I would run into them, and Willie Brown and Kamala Harris was very nurtured. I'm just saying nurtured by Willie Brown, who was kind of a legend in San Francisco. So there are rumors about that, but Gavin Newsom would be great.
Oh yeah,
and he will be president.
Gavin Newsom. The reason is that Gavin Newsom, somebody who was it, the mouth from the South. I'm trying to remember his name. I always keep forgetting.
Thurman?
Huh?
No, I was just
the
trying
guy
to think
who was.
of
He was the guy who worked with Bill Clinton.
James Carville.
James Carville. He said that anybody who would run against Trump, who was perceptively younger, okay, could win without even thinking about it.
Well, I think so, and just a sense of humor. Because I told you about that time that I got to shadow and hang out with Newt Gingrich and Donald Trump before he was even a dark horse in the presidential race. This was in Iowa.
Newt, there was a piece of work.
Oh, there was a piece of work, Newt Gingrich?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, but they were funny. And that's why I hung around them.
The Newt Gingrich I interviewed had no sense of humor.
Oh, really, really, really? Now, I don't
Well,
think
here's how I got Newt Gingrich.
Publicly.
I interviewed him, and I was very good to him, okay? Didn't make him feel uncomfortable or anything like that, because I said to myself, I want him to come back, because that's when I'll nail him.
You were baiting the hook.
Yeah, and my opportunity came because a couple of months later, Newt Gingrich, I think, in fact, asked to be on my show because I was so nice to him. Right?
That's right. Kinder, gentler, Alex.
So we're doing the interview, and I go, Newt, are you a church-going guy? He said, oh, yes, I go to church every Sunday. I believe in God, and I go to church, and I support my church, and so on. I said, yeah. I said, when do you have time to go? I says, because I see on all those shows on Sunday
morning, Meet the Press.
Meet the Press and so on, and it doesn't look like, you're at church. He says, well, I go before that. I said, well,
I went back in 1967.
Let me just say that doing the interview on the Lord's Day is against the Lord.
Well, you're Amish.
Or it's just, if you're real religious, you don't do interviews. What's his name? The guy who's got the best ability at going on talk shows is, what's his name? Our Speaker of the Senate, the head of the Senate.
No, after Pelosi.
My mind's... anyway, he's Jewish. So he can do all the Sunday shows.
That's right.
Yes,
oh my gosh,
he can do all this. He's always available for the Sunday shows.
Yeah, because plus with recording them now, everything is recorded.
Chuck Schumer. You know how I had to think of his name? I had to remember Amy Schumer, which was easier than Chuck Schumer.
All those all those techniques, those memory techniques.
Yeah.
Because mine used to be, during a conversation or an interview, I would have like a mental pegboard where I would put file cards. Like, when a topic was mentioned, maybe we transitioned naturally into something else, but I would still have that file card if it came time for a callback. So,
lately, I mean, it's happened. My memory starts failing me. Mm-hmm. And I tried to figure out why at my age your memory starts to fail you. And I saw some interviews about that. And one of the things is, and this, you may not realize this, your brain really it absorbs massive amounts of information through your lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
By the time you reach my age, it's reached its limit. And so what it's doing to make room for the new information is it's tossing out old information.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And that's the reason why, when you get to be my age, you get forgetful. It has nothing to do with the fact you got Alzheimer's or anything like that. Just your brain is filled to capacity.
They should make storage lockers for brains.
For brain. Brain cells. Yeah.
Storage lockers are everywhere.
Or like an external hard drive that you might buy for extra memory in your computer, you should be able to have an external set of brain cells that you just plug into your brain, and all of a sudden you remember everything.
And I wonder about foods that we eat, because I researched this some, and herbs that you can take. Like ginkgo biloba, I take that because it's supposed to be, I was experiencing tinnitus, which is not exactly an ear thing. It's usually a brain thing.
Is it really? I thought it was an ear thing.
And I've had several concussions in my life, either because I'm just klutzy or whatever, but really badly. And it doesn't interfere with hearing. I could hear everything being said very, very succinctly, but I could not turn off this ringing. And so I've read that works, and it does.
I think that's what Huey Lewis has, but very bad form of it.
Very bad.
He cannot sing anymore because he can't take the pressure of the music and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bon Jovi's also eased off because he was having voice problems, and there are these, polyps on the vocal cords. We all know about that.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that can happen to the vocal cords, and that's why a lot of voices, mine included, have deepened over the years.
Well, people get polyps because they're not using their throat properly.
Mm-hmm.
When I learned how to how to be an announcer and to get my voice into a decent range. Because when I was a kid, I was...
Makes you sound more authoritative.
Somebody told me, put your hand on your chest, and if you don't feel it vibrating, you're not doing it right.
Okay, that's an easy one.
Because what you're doing is you're talking from up here. You're
Instead
not
of
talking from here. All right?
Right.
So what you do is, he said, put your hand on your chest and then deepen your voice enough that you feel your chest vibrating. Well, like I'm talking now and I feel my chest vibrating.
Yeah.
But if I talk way up here, I don't feel it vibrating. So that's what I learned to do. And that was the way I used my voice all my life. I've always talked from down here. Well, if you talk from down here rather than from up here, you're not going to get nodules.
Right. And I took singing lessons, and they had that same premise. It was for singing. Didn't work. I'm an alto. Will always be an alto, or maybe a contralto. But and there was a lot of emphasis on breathing, which probably came in handy as when I got into radio. But it was as a teenager, and there are a lot of, and people always tell you when you have a sore throat, gargle with salt water. Well, that will scar your throat a bit. And so I don't gargle with salt water. I do gargle with plain water quite a bit, just to kind of keep things relaxed.
With there. What?
Plain water.
Oh, plain water. Yeah.
Yeah, not carbonated. Yeah, just plain water, just to get the gunk out of your throat.
Yeah.
And then it seems to help some.
Yeah, I've never cared that much about how my voice sounds, but I think it sounds about the same as it always has, doesn't it?
I think so.
It doesn't sound like I have an older voice.
No, it is not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I could recognize it from the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, you could recognize it from the moon?
Yeah, I could hear it from the moon.
I can hear it from the moon.
Shirley Jones, if you want an example of voices that have completely changed over the years, listen to her in Oklahoma and listen to her speak now, like on an interview show. It's amazing how her voice has deepened.
Yeah, but how about can she still sing?
I don't think so. No, she remarked that she doesn't.
It really is disappointing when you hear about people whose voices were incredible, and all of a sudden one day something happens and they can't sing anymore. I saw an interview today with Linda Ronstadt.
Oh man, well she has.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
Because there was nobody better. I mean, she was incredible.
She had
a
and
great
plus she was an icon, for teenage girls.
Well, I had a thing for her.
You did.
Yeah, she did my show once in New York, and it was almost like I couldn't do the interview. I was so gobsmacked by her presence. Okay.
She was beautiful.
Now I'm at a demonstration in Washington, D.C. Thousands of people. I'm backstage, and from across the room, I hear somebody yell at me, "Alex!" And I turn around, and it's Linda.
Were you just absolutely
jazzed? Linda,
what?
Linda said hello to me.
Like, my name.
I mean, she was at that time, and still is actually, one of the most gorgeous women ever.
Yeah, she with those brown eyes, and she was on the cover of Rolling Stone, and in the interview she talked about buying Frye boots, and she said she loved how her toes looked in Frye boots. So what did I buy? Almost immediately.
Frye boots.
Frye boots. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, what was I going to say now?
You were talking about Linda, and you saw her backstage, and she was a beauty.
Oh yeah,
Stunning.
yeah. But I know what I was going to say. So I was looking through videos that I have because I'm sorting them out and putting them up online and so on, up on Roku. And one of the ones I came across was us doing a radio show from a ski lodge. Do you remember that?
Oh, I'm trying to think where it would have been.
And I think
we did some things in Tahoe. Things in Tahoe.
Near Tahoe, but it was a ski resort.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I actually have a video of the only time I've ever been on skis. That was the first and last time I've ever been on skis.
Well, you're probably more of a snowboarder.
But you're there, right?
Yeah.
And Christy's there.
Yeah, that was
And
Tom.
I looked at her and I just said, God, you want to talk about gorgeous?
She and Linda Ronstadt had a similar look. You know, kind of dark, a little bit of a touch of color in their complexion, and the brunette hair and those piercing eyes,
But
which just
you know what
swallowed
it
you
was?
up.
It was good looks without being overbearing with the good looks. They were
Yeah,
just,
she didn't have
they were
vanity
just,
was not her thing.
No, but it was just, it wafted over her. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like she
Warren.
tried it or anything else.
Yeah, and when you get someone who you meet and they haven't relied on their looks to get them where they are, you can just tell it. You can tell it in every conversation. You can tell it in every mannerism. It's just, and she was of that ilk. She didn't let anything with her looks go to her head at all.
Yeah, yeah. She was terrific. But I looked at that and I went, wow, you know, she was gorgeous. And you didn't look bad yourself, my dear, but it was so dark I couldn't see that much of you.
Thank you, darling. Yeah,
And
I
Dana
remember
Gould
going
was
blonde.
there, and Bob Rubin was there,
Yeah.
and they took a snow sled, what do they call it? Snowmobile?
Sleigh.
Yeah,
Sleigh?
and then they
Uh-huh.
crashed the thing. Remember, they
Why
fell
am I
off
not
of it, and it just went into a snowdrift.
With Rube at the reins, why am I not surprised or shocked by this information?
I don't know why we ever thought it was a good idea to do a show from a ski lodge.
I know exactly. There was a murder mystery dinner that was tied in with the package, and we hosted the murder mystery dinner.
Did we really?
We did, yeah.
I
'Cause
don't remember that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did
it
I
was
show
fun.
up?
You did. In fact, you did it. But that was fun. I remember we had gotten there a couple days earlier, and we'd skied, and and I was exhausted at that dinner.
Are you you were a skier?
I skied. I was frustrated at the beginning when I started skiing because I was trying too hard, and you don't have to try.
But by the
when
time
you're-
we went there, were you a skier?
Yes, because I finally realized the way to ski and enjoy it is to completely relax.
Just relax, go downhill, and hit a tree.
Yeah, exactly. Especially playing football, ski football.
Or as it's
The
better
one
known
idea-
as a Sonny Bono.
Oh, did you know for a Halloween party right after that happened, my boyfriend and I at the time went as Sonny and Cher, and he just got a Christmas tree and cut it in half. And balanced the front on his front, and then the back coming out the back. And I, of course, had to share with. Yeah. And it was so fun.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, because it was you've got to make sure with those things that enough time has passed.
By the way,
Yeah,
we're not dropping names here,
and
folks.
balanced
But the fact
front on
is, the
his
only
front,
reason we went
and
into
then the back
radio
coming
was
out the
because of
back.
all the excuses we had to meet great people.
Right, exactly. Not necessarily famous people. Even. Those aren't the ones I remember the most. But my sister one time, after I'd been in radio with you for several years, and we met so many people, and she was in a situation where we were in a conversation at a large round table, and I was talking, and she said, if I didn't know you and know you actually met all these people, I think you were just a big name dropper. So whenever we would be at a function after that, if I started doing that and maybe didn't realize it, she would just softly hum, raindrops keep falling on, name drops keep falling on my head.
By the way, quickly, we lost Kinky Friedman. You remember Kinky?
I know. That was so bizarre because my friend in St. Louis and I, who talk about music all the time, we went to see Little Feat when we were there. We were talking about him, he was a good satirical songwriter, and it was like, is he dead or is he alive? He has to be in.
He ran for governor of Texas.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow, and just as a disruptor or just
as a
fun?
disruptor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but he was really. I like Kinky. He was a good guy.
Yeah. In that same vein, but I think more melodic and more sentimental. I love Lyle Lovett, and when we went to see Kinky or Little Feat, the next night, Lyle Lovett was playing, and I was like, oh man, if I had my choice.
I like Lyle Lovett. He was good too. But
she's no lady. She's my wife.
I mean, lost somebody else that I kind of knew, but on a very peripheral way. But they're all dying around me.
I know, that's why. And when people are dying and they're your age, that's like, oh. But they always use thankfully, they always use a picture that was taken of the person in their 20s. Yeah. So we don't have to deal with that aspect of our own aging.
Well, there were enough dying when I was a decent age, like Bill Hicks and so on. But now to have other people I knew, like Bob Saget and so on, die. It gets to me. It's starting to eat me up. Yeah.
Eat me alive. Eat me from the inside.
Hey, listen, we've run out of time. Do you realize that?
Well, it flies when you're having fun.
These little things we do here are very simple and easy, and I thank you so much for doing them with me.
Oh, Ben, it's such a pleasure. I look forward to it every time.
Yes.
So,
what? You were going to say
don't blow
something?
yourself up with like a Roman candle or anything over this holiday.
Yeah, well, the holidays passed. That was last week.
Well,
last week was 4th of July. Tomorrow is 4th of July for us. But that's kind of how these things are done, and we have just broken the magic. Okay.
Well, see, maybe I'll just change my tense and say, I'm so happy you didn't die in a grisly 4th of July accident, because the 4th just passed.
And it's a pleasure that I didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, Laurie Thompson. Thank you, Laurie.
Farewell, my dog.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Now in its 10th year, this is Gabnet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, hello to all of you. What happened there? Look at me. That's my green background. I need, what the hell? God, nothing ever goes right here. Let me turn on the lights here. Okay. Now, let me go to, where is it? This is the camera. And then I've got to go here to Alex's camera. And then I go to filters. And then I go to chroma key. And then I do this. And that should do it okay, right? Right? Yeah. Jeez almighty. I don't know. I don't check these things out early or ahead of time, so I don't really get it down fine. Okay, I should check them ahead of time. There's nobody here except one person is waiting to come on. What is it? I go off for a couple of days, and what happens? So let me see here. I'm looking to see over my other monitor here if I finally got the pictures on right. Oh boy, it's just. You know what I did? I got a new board here, and it's a pretty good board actually, but it takes so much to get it working just right. And so anyway, I'm trying to figure out if I'm getting it to work out just right, and we'll see. Let me go bring in some of these people here. We have 2 of them. Are we 3 now? Okay, all right. Let me bring these down here, and here come all the people that I have waiting. And let me also make sure that we do that. There we go. There is Charlie Wallace, and there.
I'm trying. I'm here.
Yeah, but I don't see your picture.
Uh-oh. What do I have to do to get that? I'm calling. I'm on my cell phone instead of on at home.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
No. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Now turn your phone sideways.
I did. Is that better?
No, it doesn't change it. Well, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's fine. That's good. Okay. I've got to do something else here too. I have to. Earlier today, I screwed up my what do you call it? My Zoom panel here, and I've got to bring it up now. Here, wait a minute. What is the problem? I have no idea. Zoom panel, and let me see here. Zoom panel. Hold on a second. Window capture, and then I got to do this and bring this maybe up a little bit. What does that do? Okay, I'm not. You guys talk to each other, okay? You know.
I'm halfway between Chicago and Austin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Beautiful downtown Brinkley, Arkansas.
My favorite place I've never been to.
Wow. Okay. So anyway, I think is that Josh Wheeler's thing there? Yeah. There we go. We almost have it down there. Okay. So let me just do this up a little more, and we should be okay now. I think. I just want to make sure that all the stuff is right. There we go. Okay. We're set, I think. Let me do this, and we're good, ready to go. Hello, Jeff. How are you? And
Good.
Hello to Josh, and hello to Charlie. Boy,
Hey, guys.
Charlie, where are you that you're using your phone?
Yeah, I'm driving from Austin to Chicago, and I stopped off at Brinkley, Arkansas, which is about halfway.
So what are you, in a motel?
Yep, Motel 6.
Motel 6? Oh. Lovely.
We'll keep the lights on for you.
So I'm having a little trouble talking tonight. What happened is this woman, this dentist, put in this new tooth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somehow it kept biting down on the side of my mouth. You ever have that happen? Right?
Yeah, especially with a new tooth. Yeah.
Well, and I looked at it today, and there's like this little, blood-filled sac in there. You've had that happen too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it makes it harder for me to talk. It's ridiculous. But anyway. Oh, there we are. There's Brian Neary. Where are you, Brian?
Is it better this way?
Huh? Yeah.
Better this
Yeah.
way.
That's better.
What are you doing? Where are you?
I'm lying down
Yeah.
in my
Where?
living room.
Are you at home?
My
Oh,
living
you're at
room.
home. Okay.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
at
because everybody lies down, so I'm lying down too.
Oh, look, just a second. I'll move to the
maybe
bed.
I'll start lying down too. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Listen, I want to test something out. You know how I say you can never hear the theme song when we play it at the end of the show?
Yeah.
I'm going to play it for you now, and I want to see if you can hear it, because I think I found the problem and was able to solve it. Tell me if you can hear this. I'm going to turn on my mic down quite a bit here so that it does.
Yeah, I can hear it.
The reason I finally figured it out, the reason why is that there's a thing on Zoom that you go to for the sound that says, for musicians, click here. And you play that, and then it plays all the music.
Wow.
And that's how I solve the problem.
Wow.
So you guys can now hear something if I play it.
Great.
Ages myself.
Anyway, so let's see here. I had 2 days off. Well, I think I could stand to have another 2 days off. Right.
Feels like we've been gone for like a week or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been gone for. We've been gone a week ago. This was our last show for the week, but then I did Monday. Did the Monday show, so
Had to work.
you had to work.
Gotta make money, yes.
Anyway, so I'm having a hard time talking with this thing back here. It's just, but you know what I'm talking about, Charlie. You've had them, huh? Yeah. Well, I've got to go to that dentist, but she's all the way up in Scarsdale, and she isn't opening up her new office until August. And I don't want to have to take a cab all the way up there. to have her just do whatever she's got to do here. But if it gets any worse, I'm going to have to, you know.
Mhm.
But apparently, you know, when it was bothering me, I could have gone see her, but I didn't think it was that bad, and it's just gotten horrible, gotten ridiculous. So, you know,
You just have to learn to bite again. Learn how to bite again.
well, no, I can learn how to have her smooth it down and move it around a little bit and do whatever she can do to make it avoid biting that particular area. But you know, I found that when I was eating some food or something, and food would get back there, then I bite down, and boy, you know,
Yeah.
so. And the other thing that worried me about it is one of the things about leukemia is mouth sores, and but this isn't that. This is being caused by something I can identify. So,
Did they test your tongue?
huh?
Or your,
Oh,
did
sometimes
they
it's
do this?
right in front here too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh well, fuck it, you know. But anyway, I got a letter from a friend of mine who thought for the last year and a half he had Parkinson's because the doctors said you have Parkinson's. Well, he started doing a lot of reading on Parkinson's and the problems with Parkinson's and how you get Parkinson's and you know what the problems are with it. And one of the things he saw was that certain drugs mimic Parkinson's. And he found out that one of the drugs he was taking was one of the drugs that mimicked Parkinson's.
Wow.
But he got to learn a lot about Parkinson's. And what he wrote me to say was, what he thinks is wrong with Joe Biden is he has Parkinson's. That it's all the symptoms of Parkinson's. First is denial. You deny that you even have it. You know, oh, I can't have that. I'll be able to survive this. And then it starts getting worse, and it affects your ability to speak and do a lot of different things. And what he was describing was exactly what's wrong with Joe Biden right now, or what we perceive to be wrong with him. And now it turns out that they've had a specialist come to the White House at least 8 times in the last 8 months to check him out for Parkinson's. So I'm beginning to think what Biden's got is Parkinson's.
That's not really accurate.
What?
He wasn't there to check Biden out to see if he had Parkinson's. That's one of the personal physicians that has served the presidency, not just this president, the presidency since 2012. And he happens to be an expert in Parkinson's. And he also happens to serve the staff that works at the White House, including the huge military staff that works in the White House.
Yeah,
He's
I
a
know
doctor.
that.
All
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, I know that.
So the fact that he's been to the White House 500 times in a year has nothing to do with anything. That's where he works, basically.
But you don't think he was there to see him too?
Well, they've said that he's examined the president. He's the president's main personal physician in this particular president. They bounce him around a little bit, you know. So, I mean, it doesn't. I'm just saying it doesn't mean that that's what he's for. I mean, you know, you may go see a doctor that can examine you for something that's not necessarily the exact thing that they do in their field, but, you know, they're capable of doing other things. I mean, you know, I mean, that happens a lot. So, especially at a place like that where, you know, they have a staff that takes care of so many people. So, you know, I mean, the one thing, for one, even if he does, it doesn't change anything. I don't really know what it matters, and I don't particularly like all the people who are watching and just say, "Oh, this I know what he's got," because I've seen. I mean, this is like this Wikipedia diagnosis is not very good for anybody. It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I will say that they've said openly and emphatically he does not have Parkinson's. He was never diagnosed with it. He does not have it. He takes no medication for it. I mean, they've said that from the press room pulpit emphatically. You hardly ever get a real answer from a politician or a press secretary, but on this one, they gave an emphatic, clear-cut no. So if it turns out they lied about that, you know, in a couple of weeks, that would be very, very bad. It would be wrong. And I would have to think that they would know that if they lied, that it would come out and they would get caught. I mean, unless they're just incredibly stupid, you know, I can't imagine that they would give the answer that they gave, knowing that if they gave it, someone would find out and want to have the ultimate gotcha, you know. I mean, so I don't really think that's the case. I mean, I don't think he's doing all that well because of his age and everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm saying that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I know someone with Parkinson's, you know, and it took them a long time to figure out that they had Parkinson's. I mean, it's, from my understanding from Parkinson's, is that, you know, when you go to the doctor with symptoms, it's not as if, oh, you know what, let's do this. Oh, you have Parkinson's. I mean, it usually, from what I've heard, it takes people months, if not longer, to find out finally after they've, it's almost a disease that they get to by like ruling everything else
it's
out.
It's a disease, another one of those diseases, much like my leukemia, that you die with and not from.
Yeah.
Okay. But if he has
I'm not sure there, but
you know, if he has it, that impinges on his abilities. I think that what the problem we've got right now is a Democratic Party that doesn't know what the goddamn hell to do. You know? They don't know how to handle this situation. I think if Joe Biden cared about the party, cared about the country, he would say, I'm not going to run. And the reason is that even though I think I'm entirely capable of doing the job for the next 4 years, apparently America doesn't think so. And quite frankly, I don't want to run under those conditions. I'm not doing the party any help, and I'm not doing the country any help by running again. And he should back off. It would be the nice thing to do. It would be the thing that would solidify Joe Biden's reputation. But if he does, if he runs and then he loses because everybody thinks he's got something wrong with him, and we got Trump for another 4 years, what's he done for the country? You know, he will die with a bad legacy.
Yeah, but if the party had somebody to run against Biden, wouldn't they have done that already?
They do. Kamala to begin with. And
I mean, yeah, I don't think they would have ran anyone, even if they really heavily preferred to, because I just think they deferred to a sitting president. I mean, it's just not, if a sitting president decides he wants to run for re-election, I mean, he's 99.9, you know, the nominee.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I mean, one of the exceptions might have been LBJ, where a lot of people felt like they would have had the right to have ran because the way that he got into the presidency was that he assumed it rather than was elected to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, however, that people say, a lot of the Democrats who are for Biden say, well, what you're doing, you're denying the people their right because they voted for him. And they gave him these votes for the convention and so on and so forth, but they voted for him not being in full.
Didn't have all the information.
They didn't have all the information,
Right.
You know.
Plus, there really wasn't anyone else to vote for. I mean,
well, there would have been
basically unopposed. I mean, I understand there were a few other people that said, but there was no there was no real challenger to Biden's re-election campaign. You know, I mean, I understand the congressman from Minnesota or whatever was out there, but I mean, it's not as if.
Oh, you would have had though a whole bunch of people come forward. You would have had, of course, Kamala would have thrown his hat in the ring.
Right.
You probably would have had what's his name out in California,
Newsom.
Yes,
Newsom probably put his hat in the ring. I mean, there would have been a lot of people.
And if Kamala
Gretchen
Harris had
Whitmer
run,
of Detroit.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
Michigan.
if Kamala Harris had run and Gavin Newsom had run and somebody else, and there had been a debate, and all four of those names were on the primary when we went and voted in Ohio, and you guys in New York, and everyone in Texas, if that were the case, and he had won the most votes and for the nomination, just like before and everything, and they were saying this, it would have real weight.
Yeah.
But like, if that's the only thing they have, whatever. I mean, that's fine. I'm not, but I mean, like, I have heard people say that, that it's like taking away the votes of people or whatever. No, it's really not. I mean, I mean, it's
Biden was the only one on the ballot
right.
in Texas.
I mean, I mean, and even if that's the case, the situation changed. Well, it's no different than, oh, I voted for Jim Bob to be the nominee for Democratic president, and in August he died. Well, we can't replace him because that's who everyone voted for. Well, but he's dead.
Well, also,
it doesn't matter.
The other argument that drives me crazy is these people who are saying, well, it's only so many months now till the election. It's only so many months until a month or so until the convention. Gee, what are we going to do? And Jon Stewart the other day said, in France, they just elected people with 1 month of running. And then in England, they ran it with 2 months of running. If we can't do it in 4 months, what kind of pussies are we?
Yeah, because, really the people that would be in the running are what I would consider known quantities. I mean, it's not as if someone is going to run that no one has ever heard of, and we need to really learn about this person. I mean, come on, I mean, everyone knows who the vice president is. The governor of California is well known, and so on and so forth. I mean, some people don't pay that much attention to politics and things of that nature, and they might not know that much, but then get informed. Your job as a citizen then would be to be like, okay, I have a decision to make. Everyone owns one of these computers that has this Google thing or what, then figure it out. Then sit down for 2 hours and take a look, I mean, citizens have responsibilities, but yeah, I don't buy that. I don't buy any of the arguments for the change, I mean, now if they don't change it because he doesn't want to, then, and they want to support it, then they can go on with that. But I don't buy any of the reasons that they can't change, period. They're all
the only thing that we've got going here, though, this is the biggest problem, is that he has a curse on him at this point. I mean, people are not feeling good about him. And so because of that, it would be good of him to not run. There are a lot of other people that could run. He's done a service to the country. He only really said when he ran the last time that he was only going to run for that time, that he was going to be a bridge candidate. And he's not living up to that. What it is, people become president and they don't want to give it up.
Right.
They like the big plane.
Yeah.
So what do we got? We got another,
Sure. Yeah, I mean, most people don't want to, not run for re-election. I mean, Lyndon Johnson was an exception because of, but he got a pretty good bit of time. He was reelected. He got more than 4 years, so I understood. I mean, I guess I can understand, his thinking, but I mean, and in some ways, it's leaning that way for Biden because, Lyndon Johnson's thing was, I'm tired of this. I can't turn on a light switch without talking to somebody about fucking Vietnam. I'm just fucking tired of it. I just want 5 minutes of peace and quiet without this Vietnam. And he realized he wasn't going to get it. It was going to be 4 more years of it. And he just said, I can't do it.
Right.
In some ways, I wonder how much Biden is going to sit around and be like, I literally cannot walk across the fucking room without someone asking me, how I feel today. How are you doing? Are you healthy? I mean, people get sick and tired of the same thing over and over and over again. So, You know, I don't know if it's wearing on him or not, but I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I can understand it.
Yeah.
It's certainly what drove, you know, Lyndon Johnson to just say, you know what, I don't have the energy to fight this out, you know? And he died in what, 1972 or 73, you know? So he died 4 or 5 years later. I mean, it would have been, you know, he was in, you know, not that great of health, and he was only in his 60s or you know, so I mean,
I think
you
he
know, but
had a heart
he's
attack
been a
once.
smoker and a lot of, yeah, right. I mean, he had, you know, a lot of things that were pretty well known, but yeah, I mean, you know, people get tired of being, you know, asked the same thing over and over. I would have to think that despite what they're saying, that it's, you know, it's a real issue. I mean, I'm sure that behind the scenes, it's tough. I mean, you know, I saw a congressman on TV earlier, one of the latest ones to come out and say that he wants change. You know, and he said, you know, the same thing that I figured. You know, is when they get asked, well, you know, you're the 8th congressman to say this, and there's 200 of you. That's only 8 of 200. And he's saying, yeah, well, actually, I'm the 8th one to get on CNN and say this. Okay,
That's
but
right.
if you go ask the other 192 in secret ballot, you're probably going to find out that there's fucking 0 of them that don't want to make change, you know?
Well, you know, I think that anybody can beat Donald Trump except for Joe Biden. That's how I feel right now. I think Kamala can beat him, can beat Donald Trump, given the chance to put herself out there and for people to get to know her a little better. I think she could win it. I think, of course, Gavin Newsom, I think, could take it in a heartbeat. I think Gretchen Whitmer could take it. They're all very good candidates and very good people to go fight Donald Trump. But he's probably afraid of every last one of them. But the only one he's not afraid of right now is Joe Biden. Would you disagree with me on that assessment?
I will.
Tony?
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a sexist, Alex, but I do not believe a woman could beat him. Hillary couldn't do it with Bill Clinton behind
No,
her.
I think a woman can do it. I think those days have passed. You know, look at how many female congresswomen we have now, and how many we had 40 years ago. You know, it's a whole different set of politics.
I mean, I respect your opinion, but I'm telling you, if they serve him Kamala Harris, he will win then. If they give him a man, he will lose. I'm telling you. I would bet heavy on that.
I just don't know that that's true anymore. What do you think, Alan? You had your hand up there.
I was just going to go into a little bit about what Josh was saying about Alzheimer's. It's not an easy diagnosis. You got to become forgetful. You can't find where you're at. It's symptoms. They don't just take an X-ray of your brain or a MRI and say, "Oh yeah, he's got Alzheimer's." It's not that simple. It's based on different things that are going on in his life. And
we're talking about Parkinson's.
What Josh was saying is right. I mean, how can they? And they have some pills, but they don't know right now if the pills help much. They're kind of in, they're not
I'm
a
saying is,
well-known.
let's say the only thing wrong with him is just old age. Let's just say that, okay? And
Yes.
he is not able to communicate quite like he used to. That's not the perception the public has.
Right.
And it would be better if he didn't run and let somebody else run for the good of the party, for the good of the country, to make sure that Donald Trump doesn't become president again. And I think it would be he would be a good guy if he just said, "Look, there's too much of this going against me now in public perception. I think I can do the job. I think you're missing out on a good bet, but I don't know if I can win under these circumstances, and we've got to win."
I mean, think about it like this, Alex. Like you said, he's going to be, 82 when he wins the election? It's almost like, do you want a guy running the leader of the free world or a hot dog? And this is like a big job. I mean, he should know better. Just step down.
Trump is
He shouldn't
only
have got to this point.
younger, Tony.
What?
Trump is only 3 years younger, and look at
Yeah,
the
but
mess he is.
We've
Yeah, but
got
you know what?
we have
There's a
the
difference between
worst.
78 and 82.
I think, and our historian here, Josh, would probably agree with this assessment. I think we have the worst two candidates we've
I'm not
ever
voting
had
this year.
running against each other in the history of this country.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's odd because to me, you know, I would consider this the most consequential election since 1864.
Since
You
18
know,
when?
Since 1864, you know, when Lincoln was up for reelection and wasn't going to win. And, you know, the platform was to make peace with the Confederacy, to stop the war and let the nation be divided, you know. And some things happened and he got reelected, and that's not how. So that's what hung in the balance there. What hung in the balance in 1864 was a civil war, and how the Civil War would be ended. Would it be ended in a negotiated peace where the Confederacy got a lot of what they wanted and it was two separate nations? Or would it be ended by victory? You know, reuniting.
Who ran against Lincoln in that?
Well, a couple different people. I mean, you know, John C. Fremont, and I mean, you know, they had some, a lot of people that advocated for making peace with the Confederacy, you know, was the main opposition platform. People were just ready for the war to end because it had been going on for, you know, 4 years. So there was a multitude of people, and it wasn't looking good for him. You know, it wasn't looking good at all. So not until the fall, when some military events helped turn the tide. But I mean, I guess my point is, to me, this election is the most consequential since that election. And I mean, I know there's been a lot of other ones since then, you know, 68 and, FDR's and all that. I mean, I get it. I'm just saying that's my opinion because, you know, in this election, our road is basically, maybe we don't get a lot of things fixed, but we keep the country on the path that it's on of, you know, free government and things of that nature. And then, you know, the other way is some of this, you know, retribution and fascism and just I mean, you know, crap and nonsense, you know. So it's incredibly consequential. So they need to play the best players, you know, and put them on the field, not necessarily the ones that think they deserve it or whatever, you know. I mean, so because this is for everything, you know, it's for everything. I mean, listen, I hear, you know, this Faith and Freedom conference that I saw parts of on C-SPAN and things, and I hear these folks up there, and these are people close to him, okay? Stephen Miller, I mean, this is a guy that worked in the White House for 4 years that thinks academics like myself, you know, who maybe have a different philosophy than they do, they're talking about, you know, maybe we should get these people locked up, you know, which, by the way, is exactly what they did in the Soviet Union and in other places. You know, you got to get rid of the academics and send them off to a prison somewhere, because these are the people that'll go around and tell everybody what we're doing is wrong. You know, I mean, this is the kind of, I don't understand personally why the media doesn't start, and really, I don't understand why the Biden campaign doesn't start using the word fascism more. I mean, they need to start saying exactly what it is, because that's what it is. I mean, they have documents that lay out what they want to do, and he can distance himself from them all he wants or whatever. I don't care. I mean, that's games. The campaign that's running against him needs to explain to people that's their platform. I mean, they need to start using those kinds of words. And if they think, oh, that'll scare people, well, I don't know, then you need to educate people, or you need to do something, because obviously what you're doing isn't working, you know, because Trump should be losing by 100 points, you know, and in real, overall, he's not that well liked.
Trump shouldn't even be on the ballot.
Right.
Okay? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that anybody would conceive of a person this immoral to be running for president of the United States. I mean, a guy who cheats on his wife. Do you think anybody like that could have been president in the past?
Just think if Kamala or Gavin was in that debate, against Trump. I mean, they would have ripped him up.
They would have taken him to lunch. Because
Trump would have just been there
the first thing that Biden didn't do was call him on all the lies. They would have called him on each and every lie.
Well, I mean, like I said, they need to say exactly what's happening. They need to say he's either a fascist or he's the puppet of fascists. So he either is one, or if you think that he doesn't really believe in anything, he just believes in himself, that's fine. I wouldn't disagree. Then he's the puppet of fascists. Okay? He may not be the leader of a fascist movement, but he is the puppet of one. And they're at a conference, like I said, that I saw on C-SPAN, where they're making no bones about it. I mean, they're not really even hiding anymore what their plans are.
Look at Project 2025.
I mean, that's exactly what it is. I mean, and these are senators, these are congressmen, these are people that have, Josh Hawley is there today saying, many of you are going to accuse me of saying that I'm fighting for Christian nationalism. Yep, I am. I mean, they're not even hiding anymore what they want to do. I mean, this isn't Facebook memes or anything like that anymore. This is people who are saying, yes, do we think that it should be illegal to go to the store and buy condoms? Yes, we do. Yes, as a matter of fact, we don't think contraception really should be needed or should be legal. Only a husband and a wife should have sex. I mean, and this is all coming from people that try to do whatever they want.
Religion should never enter into the argument. Never, ever, under any conditions.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what these guys believe.
That's right.
But that's not what America was founded on.
I agree, but
they don't care about that.
They don't care about that. Yeah,
but
exactly.
Their platform is is to do away with this stuff. I mean, it's to abolish the Department of Education so that your local school board can put the 10 Commandments. I mean, there's a guy there today saying, why should we put the 10 Commandments up in school? They should just be everywhere.
Yeah.
Our platform should be the 10 Commandments. I mean, I'm quoting these people pretty close. You can go look at it.
Then I guess where does Trump fit into "Thou shalt not commit adultery"?
He really doesn't. Again,
that doesn't apply to him. He's got immunity.
Yeah, so, like I said, you
got immunity.
If you didn't read that book yet.
If you don't consider him a fascist, then he is the puppet of I mean, I'm saying, the difference between.
I think
Mussolini believed what he said.
I think he definitely is a puppet of fascists, because I don't think Donald Trump has a single bone in his body that cares about anything but himself. Okay? These guys, at least, you may not like them, and they may be fascists, but at least they believe in something. They have an ideology they adhere to. Right. He doesn't adhere to any ideology. He doesn't know from ideology.
You wouldn't even know what it means. Alex, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did they try to kill Ford twice?
Yes.
Yes.
How come nobody can take one shot at this guy?
Oh, stop it.
Come on.
Why would you? I'd be happy. Come on.
Let's not get into that discussion.
Happy?
Tony, you're going to get the Secret Service pounding on your door.
Well, I mean, with Trump, I mean, let's really be honest.
By the way, if the Secret Service wants to come get me for what you just said, I will give them your address, okay?
But I mean, really think about it, though. Think about everything that Trump... You heard what he said about the January 6 people. They're prisoners. He should have left it out. They killed the cop.
Because you got to remember that let's see here, Ford, they tried to get twice. I think
they got him twice,
Squeaky
right?
Fromm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Squeaky Fromm.
And then there was the other. Who was the other one? I can't remember now.
I couldn't believe that.
He was shot in San Francisco. Was that Squeaky Fromm?
That was Squeaky Fromm.
Didn't they try to get him in New York, too?
The other one was in L.A., if I remember correctly.
California hated him.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But
there was nothing
Charlie,
to hate. I'll tell you with Gerald Ford, there was nothing really to hate. There was nothing to really admire, but there was nothing to hate.
I mean, really, I was going to ask you, was he that hated that they were going to go after? I mean, I never understood.
He wasn't a powerful president, Tony.
Well, he happened to be the president at the time.
Yeah.
And that puts a,
But the reason why I say this is because Trump is the same guy who's going to let these people out of January 6th, which they incited a riot, and what, 1 or 2 people got killed, and he's just going to demolish the whole. You can't make this up. The guy is no good. Come on, you wouldn't cry a tear over him. Come on.
No, I wouldn't cry a tear over him. But on the other hand, I don't want to see that be.
But he would be bringing it upon himself. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, how many cages can you rattle till somebody says, you know what?
I think you're going too far. You can stop now, Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop it at that, but.
Talk to your brother.
We don't wish that on anybody.
Well, I mean,
it doesn't solve.
I don't wish it on him, but some people bring it upon themselves.
If you think that would be the solution to a problem, it's not. The problem is
all
not.
The problems he brings on himself.
Hold on a second, Tony. Shut up a second. The trouble, and I think Josh will agree with me, and almost everybody will agree with me. The problem doesn't lie with Trump. It lies with the people who vote for Trump. It lies with a country who has lost its values and its sense of purpose. And you get rid of Donald Trump, and there's somebody just as bad coming up right behind him who people will go and follow because they like the message that Donald Trump had.
But you see, I'm not trying to say.
And also, Trump will be looked upon as a martyr, by the way.
What I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm for this. What I'm trying to say is, with all the times you guys have criticized Trump, you can't sit there and tell me he has not brought this on himself.
Well, he hasn't brought anything on himself.
With all his reactions,
except maybe another.
Stop the steal. The election's no good. The January 6th rioting.
Alan's got his hand up. Alan,
come
on. Sarah Jane Moore attempted to assassinate President Ford 17 days after he was shot at. Boy, they really didn't like him in California. 17 days earlier.
Did Squeaky Fromm actually get a shot off? Did either of them get a shot off?
The Sarah Jane Moore with a 38 special.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 38 special revolver, both missed. She fired 2 shots.
I mean, this is the guy who's got immunity. He could shoot somebody in Times Square and he can get away with it. I mean, this is what he's saying.
What?
Yeah, that's what the Supreme Court said.
I mean, he's got immunity, right? I mean, you bitch,
Tony,
but he's doing whatever he wants.
Tony, shut up.
Oh, be quiet. You just don't like the truth, Alex.
No, it's not a question of the truth. It's a question of that you are talking about something which could get me in a lot of trouble.
No,
could
I'm
get
not,
you.
no,
Wait
I'm
a
not
minute.
saying
Let me
that's gonna
finish.
happen.
Could get you in a lot of trouble, and I'm trying to save you the trouble.
Okay. I mean, I got you there.
You would be best to shut up right now.
That's right.
We've heard what you had to say. You say, I don't want to hear the truth. We've heard whatever your truth is, but that's not right.
I didn't agree.
Just text Alan your thoughts.
I mean, I might get arrested by the federal government. I might get arrested by the federal government over this, or at the very least, demonetized by YouTube. So,
Well, I did not say anything bad. I just said people.
Yes, you did.
I did not say people would be broken up about.
The way you phrased it, you were threatening the life.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop it.
Good.
Yeah. Because quite frankly, I would love to. Here's what I'd love to see happen to Donald Trump: that he runs for president of the United States again and gets his ass beaten, and we never have to hear from him again. That's what I'd like to see happen.
Yeah, the movement needs to be rejected, politically. Because like I said, he's a puppet of a movement. He's not really. I mean, I don't really believe that, Mr. Trump has sat around, 10, 15, 20, last 25 years and thought, this abortion issue and these unborn children and I just can't believe that we have this Department of Education that sets these. He doesn't have deep thoughts of policy, and but
he's not that smart.
He's a candidate who likes running for these things, and he's gotten himself surrounded with these people. They latched onto him, and we talked about this last week. We did. He's a tool for them to use, and that's it. They really don't, in my mind, they really don't like him either. They just said, but we'll take him because he can accomplish things that we want to do, you know, which has been my problem with, you know, Christianity, if you will, for quite some time, is, you know, I've never appreciated the church's willingness to use immoral people to accomplish what they thought were moral ends. You know, I've always thought that was wrong, you know, so, but that's what they're doing. I mean, you know, he's a tool that they wield in their movement for things that, you know, they believe in. But the vast majority of these people advocate a fascist system of government. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. You know, when a government system tells you the things that you can and cannot do, and then if you do not agree with them, forces you out or imprisons you or has you whatever. I mean, that's exactly the kind of stuff that they're talking about, you know. I mean, they don't have really, I mean, the reason that I label it that way is because within their movement, they do not have room for dissent. You either agree or you are an enemy of this movement. There's no room for dissent within their movement.
But here's my question. What do you think the chances are that America has turned? That in fact, the kind of the beliefs we all held true are no longer being held as truth? You know, I mean, if America wants to elect Donald Trump president of the United States, then have we lost America and all it stands for?
I mean, that's fair. I don't really think it has, because the popular vote has shown the last several times that more citizens do not like this person than like this person, you know, and the polling shows, and not just a poll, I mean, the shit tons of polls for the last several years. And if you want to challenge your accuracy of polling and everything, that's fine. But I'm just saying, all the data shows that people still support Biden even after the debate, basically the same. It's still basically a virtual tie, you know, depending on what poll you look at and on what day you look at it and all that, just like it was at the last election. And there is still a lot of data that shows that people do not approve of Trump's ideas and behavior in a lot of cases, you know? I mean, you know, I mean,
he hasn't picked, I haven't seen the news past couple of days. He hasn't picked the vice president, right?
Not yet.
I hear David Duke is available.
The thing is that they never used to name the vice presidential candidate till after the person got nominated. And then between that day and the next day, he used to announce who his nominee was going to be for vice president. That's the way. Am I right?
At the convention, yeah.
Yeah.
Most times it's done, you know, by the convention. So
I thought it was done earlier. Okay.
the people that are
This whole idea about,
given a
he
ticket is
hasn't
nominated.
named his guy yet, and Biden already has. I mean, that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Well,
because
if she's
you know,
sitting vice president.
I mean,
Right.
although
Well,
it
they still could have made a
didn't
change,
used
had
to
they
be an
chose.
assumption that the vice president would be the new vice presidential candidate, because under Roosevelt, how many vice presidential candidates were they that ran with him?
Yeah, he changed multiple times. Right.
Every time, I think.
I think Biden would have made a horrible mistake.
Yes.
Replacing the vice president.
Before Truman, there was Wallace, and before Wallace, there was somebody else.
Charlie?
Under
He's
FDR.
already worried about losing the. He's already worried about losing the black vote. Take off Kamala. Oh my God.
Yeah, just do that, yeah.
That's gonna be
Kamala
women
and women.
and blacks. Oh my God.
Blacks and women.
Just get another white guy in there with him. That'd be great.
I think the only reason why it's close is, you know why, it's his age. It's really, I mean, she really
Look,
was. She
it's
was
not even his age. He could be this age and be far more alert and around than he is now. We saw him in that debate show a moment of great failure mentally.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's scaring America. And given
Well, did you hear what Stephanopoulos
America's
said?
frightened of that, we should be relieved of his nomination, and he should give it up to somebody else.
Well, I'm agreeing with you on that. But did you hear what Stephanopoulos said today off camera on the street?
Yes,
That
he was the
he
guy
doesn't
from
think he can make 4
TMZ,
years.
wrong guy to talk to. You know.
Yeah.
Well, he's had the most interviews with him, so he's probably seen him up close.
You're more alert than he is, Alex.
Listen.
Oh, absolutely. Alex Bennett for president.
They just lost. They just lost George Clooney. He said he is not backing Biden at this point. He wants Biden to quit.
I mean, is he living in Italy or is he still an American citizen? I don't even know.
And it's not, by the way, it's not that George Clooney is a kingmaker, but he has a lot of influence in Hollywood, and it's a question of people, doing something about it. So.
But can I throw this out?
He needs a guy like Clooney, because it's important for him to be able to have that money coming in. He's losing a lot of donors lately, and that's the other problem.
Yeah, George Clooney is an American, Tony.
He is? Okay, I know he lives in Italy most of the time.
What, you didn't think George Clooney was an American?
I know he lives in Italy, they said. I don't know if he was a citizen there. I know he lives.
He lives. He has a home in Italy.
Yeah, I know.
He has a home here. He has a home probably a dozen other places.
See, I'm in the school of thought, guys. I think if Biden steps down, and you get a man in there, and you keep her as VP, you're going to bury Trump.
I think Kamala Harris can bury Trump.
Absolutely.
I mean,
because once people look at Kamala Harris's history, and she has a very good reputation of being a good, having been a good district attorney of San Francisco and attorney general of California, and then she also had a pretty good record as a senator.
Yeah, she's
got a great. Once that's presented to the American public, I think she's going to have a lot better chance even than Hillary had, who was incredibly more competent than Kamala is.
Well, the only thing I would say is in the primaries, Kamala Harris never finished at the top.
She was always in the bottom. Now, people given a choice, they're just afraid of the choice they've got now. I mean, I don't know that I could vote. Look, I'm 84 years old. I should want to vote for the old guy and root for the old guy. I don't think I can vote for him. I really don't.
I agree with you there. But
who am I going to do? It's like I said to Charlie the other day when he said, "Well, if he doesn't put up Kamala Harris, he's going to lose the black vote." And I said to Charlie, if he doesn't run Kamala Harris and somebody else like Gavin Newsom, who are you going to vote for? Trump?
But that's me. But I'm just talking about as a group.
I'm just saying that people, when given a choice,
even if Obama endorses Newsom, you don't think they would follow Obama?
No, because this is the first time we've ever had a black vice president, and you're going to pass over her.
Yeah, but Charlie, you got to get that out of your head, because that's nothing with the Democrats.
No, he doesn't.
With Hillary, and wants that.
No, he doesn't have to get it out of his head, because it's an important fact.
Yeah, but Charlie, look at it this way. If she was that strong, she wouldn't have dropped out of the primary. She was finishing at the bottom. You can't deny that.
Humphrey never ran in the primary.
But Charlie, he finished in the bottom of the primary. That's not good, though.
What happened then doesn't necessarily augur for what's going to happen now.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you can't define.
I mean, look, between you and me, I would be happy to see Gavin Newsom run.
I don't have to agree with it.
I would be happy to see Gavin Newsom
I have
run.
to be black.
But he's got problems.
I don't care. I just don't agree with it. I think if Obama backs the guy, they're going to vote for him.
I don't know what black people.
No, that's your opinion. But I think if Obama backs the president,
the trouble with
that would mean something.
Wait, hold on.
Hey,
Charlie,
Tony, I'm not black, and I agree with.
You could agree with him, but that's your opinion. But I think Obama has a little more continuity.
It's time for you to tone it down a little bit. Yes. We don't like to get other people talking here.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just saying that Gavin Newsom has his own baggage. If he ran, people would think that he had problems getting his laundry done because he'd be hearing about the French laundry all the time. Yeah. Which is not a great moment.
They have good
in
food,
his
by
history.
the way.
What?
They have good food, by the way.
They do. I know. I've eaten there.
Me too.
Yeah, it's very good.
Jack in the Box is really good sometimes. Oh my God, so good.
Only
What?
if you have to
What'd
pay.
you say?
The Jack in the Box is so good sometimes.
Yeah,
Burger
yeah.
place, right?
They have a special $2.99 for a jumbo jack right now.
Oh my God, when I'm buzzed, I stop by there on the way home. Oh, so good.
What I loved about Jack in the Box was the company that took it over from the original people who started it was who? Purina.
Ralston Purina.
Yeah.
They make dog food.
Yeah, and I wanted to. I kept referring to Jack in the Box on the air as Purina human chow.
No sponsors, huh?
This thing it's just it's a clusterfuck. Okay, let's be honest about it. I mean, we've got two people who, quite frankly, if you didn't have to vote for them, you wouldn't vote for either one at this point. If you had a younger candidate running for one or the other party, you'd be looking at them a lot closer than you are to Joe Biden. Okay? I mean, the Republicans are stupid not to run a young person. Okay? That would have helped them. But they're putting all their eggs in that Trump basket, and I think if they lose, this is the last time we're going to hear from the Republican Party for years. You know,
Change the name.
what were you going to say? What did you say, Jeff?
They could change their name.
Yeah, they can call themselves the Hitler followers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's just not good what's happening, and I don't know how we
It's
solve
not
this
fun.
problem.
I'm sure other countries' leaders are laughing at us right now.
But how true is it? Right after the debate, they said, "Oh, all the Democrats are having a big meeting right now. Like they're going to change something, and they're putting this fear into everybody, and it's I don't know."
Well, the Democrats are getting flop sweat over this thing. They really don't know what to do, and they don't know how to handle it. So they're clutching their beads and trying to, they're all over the place. But they know it is a problem, and it's got to be solved.
And he did a good job for 4 years. I mean, look at the Dow. Look at
Yeah, but they say the last half a year or something, people around him have noticed a marked difference in him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Jill's got to step in and tell him. Doesn't the wife rule the marriage anyway? So
She should. Right?
Well, if she cares about him,
does
but
in
what
your case.
somebody said what this amounts to now is elder abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a good job. I mean,
He should be encouraged not to run.
they should just tell him he won.
That's
And just put him into some house, looks like the White House. Let him live the rest of his life, and he'll think he's president. And just run somebody else.
Oh, by the way, before we go, nobody noticed my beard is gone.
Oh, Alex, your tooth, you better be careful with that. I heard you. It's cut.
Wait a minute, here comes Don Giller. Don, we haven't got enough time for you.
You get it.
It's not coming at the last minute.
Wait a minute,
Play
hold on a second. Let me just do this fast.
Play the theme right when he
Hold
comes
a
on,
second.
please.
Hello,
Cut me
Don. Oh, there we go, Don. Here's the problem. There's the closing theme.
All right, let me be real quick.
Yeah.
The argument about the Harris.
Yeah.
George Herbert Walker Bush bombed out in the 1980 GOP primaries. Reagan then selected him for VP, and he went on to beat Dukakis in '88. So the primaries mean nothing.
Okay, listen.
How many
Thanks, Don, for your
presidents have we had?
contribution.
None.
That's our theme playing. You really could have
Yeah,
closed,
Louise,
Don, but I had to
Don.
get you on because that's the kind of guy I am. Okay. Hey, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. And thank you to Josh as well for being here. Charlie, always good. Always good. And Brian Neary, nice to have you here as always. Alan, nice to have you here. Tony, you're a pain in the ass tonight.
I'm
Okay.
going to talk about your tooth. Keep an eye on that, Alex. You don't
What?
get infected. the infection, because I heard you were biting on it.
Well, I don't have an infection. I have a blood
Oh, you gotta be
pocket
careful.
from having bitten on my cheek so much. And Don Giller, thank you for calling our show once again. Better late than never, I think they call.
The last 7 seconds.
This is a test.
Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our... Oh,
Why do we call
what's
this
that?
that?
I have no idea what that sound is. What
Is there
is
anything wrong with that?
What is that? I have no idea what that... Oh, I see. I know what that is. There we go. I have these buttons I push now, and they... I pushed one of the other buttons at the same time. It's like...
Alex Bennett is still alive?
See, I can do that. Okay. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for being here. Listen, she's next. Yes, Amy Manuel is next with the what is it? The intersection. Yeah, she'll be here right after us, taking your calls at Gabnet Live on Skype. In the meantime, I'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, yeah, you know what to do.
This is
Tell
a
her I
test.
love her, okay?
For the next 60 seconds.
Wait a minute.
this
Hold on
station
a
will conduct-
second. I'm never using these buttons again. Okay, I'll see you later, everybody. Thanks. Bye.